Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. How did our eyes get so red? And what the fuck is on Joey's head? And this is where I grew up. I think the president ought to fixed it up. I never knew we ever went without. The second floor was hot for sneaking out. And this is where I went to school. Most of the time I had better things to do. Criminal record says I've broken twice. Must have done it half a dozen times. I wonder if it's too late. Should I go back and try to graduate? Life's better now than it was back then. If I was them, I wouldn't let me in. Oh God, I have a memory of looking out the back door. Had the photo album spread out on the bedroom floor. It's hard to say it, time to say it. Goodbye, goodbye. I have a memory of walking out the front door. Found the photo of the friend that I was looking for. It's hard to say it, time to say it. Goodbye, goodbye. Remember the old arcade. Through every dollar that we ever made. The cops hated us hanging out. They say somebody went and burned it down. We used to listen to the radio and sing along with every song we know. We said someday we'd find out what it feels to sing to more than just a steering wheel. Hit the first girl I kissed. I was so nervous that I nearly missed. She's had a couple of kids since then. I haven't seen her since God knows when. No. Oh God, I every memory of looking out the back door. Had the photo album spread out on the bedroom floor. It's hard to say it, hard to say it. Goodbye, goodbye. Every memory of walking out the front door. Found the photo of the friend that I was looking for. It's hard to say it, hard to say it. Goodbye, goodbye. I miss that town. I miss their faces. You can't erase. You can't replace it. I miss it now. I can't believe it. I know what to say. Too hard to leave it. If I could relive those days, I know the one thing I would never change. Every memory of looking out the back door. Had the photo album spread out on the bedroom floor. It's hard to say it, time to say it. Goodbye, goodbye. Every memory of walking out the front door. Had the photo of a friend that I was looking for. It's hard to say it, time to say it. Goodbye, goodbye. Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. Every time I do it makes me. Nailed it.
All systems go.
All right, Dave. What's going on?
Just been driving all day. All day. I'm in Kentucky right now. Can't you tell? Looks like Kentucky, right?
My niece lives in Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
You look like
It's
you're in
actually a
Alaska.
really pretty state. It's really nice. But the real reason we're here together today is
Yeah.
to talk about the one and only, one of the greatest
I'll let you keep going.
on our top 10.
Which, by the way, I found out is a complete fraud. What I've been telling everyone week after week for the past
Right.
2 weeks now is that it's a ranking of most consecutive weeks in whatever spot. It's not the
Not
case.
consecutive.
No, it's not the case. It's not even consecutive weeks at number one. It's most successful in that it's been in the top 30 for the longest time. So it basically
Okay.
Billboard compiled a list of
So it wasn't
songs.
number one for the longest. It
No,
was,
it was only
top
number.
30.
We're talking about All the Right Reasons by Nickelback from 2005. Now, the reason that I got into this was because I said to myself, how was this album more popular for longer than
I
Tapestry?
have a few ideas.
But it turns out that wasn't the case. It wasn't as popular. It was different because the
Right,
parameters have
in the
changed
top-
now in our list.
It stayed in the top 30 for a long time.
Right. For 110 weeks, it did not dip below the top 30 on Billboard's top 200, below number 30 for 110 weeks.
See,
It was
my
only number
biggest
one for
question and
1
what
week.
I want. Go ahead. Sorry.
It was only number 1 for 1 week.
Okay. Okay. But see, my biggest question I would ask is, what else was released during that time period?
That's a good question.
What other music was happening in 2005 in the 110 weeks?
I couldn't tell you.
I one thing I did as I watched I listened to all these songs on YouTube, and right. I took a notice of all the views of each song, how many times on YouTube they've been watched. So, like the first song, "Follow You Home," had 2.7 million views.
Yikes.
That's just on YouTube.
But then you also can look up the video of the crowd throwing rocks at Chad Kroeger, and it's probably got more views than that.
Possibly.
Yeah. So yeah. Follow You Home.
Yes, "Follow You Home."
The number 1 track.
So
what the hell is he trying to say in this?
That's my last comment on this, is not sure what the song is about.
I think I know what it's about. He's gonna just keep stalking this ex-girlfriend.
Listen, so stalker songs have been popular throughout the years.
Yeah.
It's not like but they're very obviously stalker songs.
Right. And how often does lightning strike?
I just thought it was way overproduced.
And that could be said for every track on this entire album. It's just,
it is said in every track, but
oh man,
to me it was like, it's like when like a boy band, like the producer would like add in like a DJ scratching, like it was intentional, like doing
like this is what people are gonna like.
Right. All the guitars are just like, it's like too perfect, but not perfect. If you know what I'm saying.
Right. The comment I have about the music was cookie cutter rock with awful, just horrible lyrics. They're terrible.
Yeah. I'm happy to move on from this song.
And then at one more thing, at the 325 mark, that ridiculous distortion that they just put on the lyrics just for no reason, out of nowhere, and it makes them even cheesier. Like
that's what it is. Very cheesy. They just add things in that have been done on other songs that sounded good on other songs.
Right.
Oh yeah, put the third
Let's
on
do
there.
that again.
Yeah, do it again.
Which
Sounds
brings
great.
us to the second song on the album, Fight for All the Wrong Reasons. The Fight for All the Wrong Reasons? What the hell kind of title is that for a song? It's like 3 lines out of the song.
This one only had 900,000 views.
Thank God for that.
Yes.
I have same as the last song. Just terrible message. Just at least he acknowledges that he knows that he's staying with this person for the wrong reasons.
The one lyric, I guess it's kind of hard to leave when you're going down on me.
Yeah, I mean
that over and over. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's the most difficult time in the world to leave. Like
you're physically connected to another person.
There's not much at that moment that the girl could do to make you leave.
Did you ever see, that being said, did you ever see Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yes.
He does that.
Well, that's a movie.
Yeah.
So.
It's a that movie is as better than this album as anything could possibly be, though. So the first two songs were just god awful. And again,
I have the same thing. It's the same hard guitar intro, just
Exactly.
right in your face.
Yep.
And it's like it's good for like an action movie, like a chase scene
Yep.
or something like that, you know. But other than that,
and just again at 2:30, the terrible distortion. Then after they did the distortion on the vocals, then they added a chorus like multiple Chad Kroger's.
yeah, well, overlaying it, you know. And I made comments later on about overlaying, which I like.
Right.
You know, so it's not always bad.
I
It's
mean,
just,
yeah,
but it's not natural, or like
Right.
it's not right.
necessary all the time. That's what I feel like this is a theme throughout this album. They do things that just aren't necessary all the time because they just want it in their album.
Well, the final song explains why all of it happens.
Right, yeah. So
the next
not to
song,
jump ahead. Photograph, best song on the album. Can
what's
we
that?
agree? Can we agree that this is the best song on the album?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And
All right.
also the least watched on YouTube.
What?
477,000 people have watched it.
That's got to be like this week.
I don't understand. It's the only quality song. No, not, you know.
I mean, not the only one, but
yeah.
This is.
Like, I love this song when it first came out. Like, it's very relatable. I can picture myself going through photographs.
Yep. And that's why we just played it.
Right.
Just played it.
Yeah, we just played it. We had to do a wardrobe change.
Right.
But I was all sweaty after playing. We really got into it.
So I have down that it's the only time in this album. Well, there's 3 songs in the album where Chad Kroger sounds genuine.
Right.
Like, you don't get from Follow You Home. I don't get like that Chad Kroger is a stalker that's going to follow you home and kick the crap out of your brothers. I don't get that Chad Kroger is going to be like, you know, sexually abusing somebody and not want to leave because the sex is good. I don't get that vibe from him. This song is the first one where I'm like, all right, this sounds like something that he's into.
They probably did this song before the whole everything was changed for them. Whatever something happened, you know.
Something happened.
Something happened.
Yeah, so I won't say I love the song.
Right.
It's a tolerable song that, you know, I'll listen to if it comes on the radio.
No, it's relatable. It's good content, good lyrics. You know, it's produced properly.
Right. It's not overdone. There's not
right.
extra crap in there that you don't need.
Yep.
I like the song. Number 4, Animals. My first thing is that I called it filler in a filler album.
Well, I mean, I had same hard guitar.
Yep.
And same song over and over.
Yep. I said one. Yeah, exactly. One cliche after another.
You know, sometimes we mentioned about, you know, in the last video about Carole King, like the songs were a continuation of each other, but in a good way.
Right.
Like these are just continuation. Like it's just the same overproduction.
Right.
Of nonsense.
Yep. I said insert some basic.
Only 2.2 million views on YouTube.
I put down insert some basic loud riffs and drums and stick it on the album and be done with this garbage. It's like it's girls in fast cars, man. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna sing about. All right, Chad.
All right, Saving Me.
Well, again, more pandering. Just
I liked the acoustic intro. The first couple of seconds. Okay.
Yep.
All the instruments were at their proper levels. They weren't.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't overproduced. It wasn't like in your face. His vocals aren't his normal. You know.
Yeah,
vocals.
I mean that's true. But I mean it pandering in that, like, you've been to prison, or is this a metaphorical prison? What are you talking about here? And then the next line is about being in heaven, and then the next line is maybe I'll kill myself. Like, what are you aiming for, man?
Right. I think I actually didn't. The lyrical part of it, my comments were really on the musical part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much overproduction in the other songs. I was happy to not have that. I'm like, okay.
Right.
I can listen to this.
And it makes you forget that the lyrics are terrible.
Right. So that we were talking about overlaying his vocals. There were some overlaying of his vocals in this that actually, okay, well, that's
this time it wasn't overdone.
Yeah.
All right. Number 6, Far Away. This is the other song that I feel like he's genuine in. Like,
yeah.
And this is, again, it's a classic. It's a classic subject for a rock and roll tune.
It's a relatable, part of it. 7.2 million views.
I like this YouTube view thing that you got going on this week. I like it. I'm digging it. You got to find something, right? We have to find something.
I like the first 40 seconds, which is basically the verses.
Right.
The chorus to me got a little bit away, but I thought it was good lyrics. I prefer this side of them. It's probably on the photograph side of them. A lot lighter. It's just not
Yeah, I wish they'd do more of it.
Yeah, they'd probably be on the top 10 of all time if they. Oh man.
Yeah, I put down that there was a really good line in this song. I'd give it all. I'd give it all. I'd give it all for us. Give anything, but I won't give up. That's a pretty cool line. Like, I mean, it flowed and it was creative, and I felt like, all right, he got one in there amongst everything else.
I was concerned about drinking this just now, but
yeah, it disappeared when you're
it disappears.
Yeah,
so it doesn't.
Dave is drinking a nondescript bottle of soda.
I was trying to cover up the name of the bottle, and it just disappeared.
That is a green color that mixes well with his background.
Nice.
All right. Next song. The next contestant.
Oh man.
I want to show you what I have down as my first comment here. I hope the thing picks it up. Hang on.
Yeah, I see it. Ha 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 ha.
What on earth is going on in this song? I don't get it. What are you trying to say, man? You follow your stripper girlfriend to work and like beat up her customers? What are you talking about? Like, this one is the worst. This song is the worst one on the album. I mean, without doubt, for me.
I just, again, we're back into the same hard guitar, the mumbling vocals, over distorted vocals, and then there's this obnoxious guitar solo that starts out. Oh. It starts out almost sounds like an '80s hair band, and then it just flips over and he tries to sound like Eddie Van Halen, but he can't be Eddie Van Halen.
No,
you can hear he's like tapping on the guitar, but like it's for like 2 seconds and it goes away. Like, oh man. I like what we got going on here because you're focusing on how terrible the music is, and I'm focusing on how terrible the lyrics are. So the gist that you're meant to get from this song, because there's no veiled, like, it's not metaphorical. It's just this guy follows his girlfriend to her job that she's willingly doing, evidently, because she still works there, to harass her customers and threaten to beat them up. Like, is that what's going on in this song? Because it sounds like that's what it's about. I mean, the lyrics that I wrote down, how could you take his life away? Oh no, that's not. No, that's the next contestant was the one where, I can tell by what you're wearing that it's going to be a rough night for me because I got to beat up every guy who tries to flirt with you. Yeah, that the one that you're talking about is Side of the Bullet. That's the next song. Maybe I did you completely I skip over the contestant? Like a phone call interruption and I went back and typed into the wrong spot. That's possible. Oh my God. If you missed that song, you have to give yourself No, I'm saying the last line that I put in, I may have meant to be typed for another song. Right. Okay, yeah. That's probably what happened. Because that might have been it might be in my top 10 of worst songs of all time. Of all time? Yeah. It was that bad. Like, I don't know.
I don't know if anyone can tell, but I had a really tough time listening
This
to
was
this
rough.
album
It
this
really
week.
was rough. You
And
know, when I was looking forward to songs of theirs that I know I don't like I was
Right.
looking forward to to listening to a certain song. I'm like
And
getting
coming
into it.
into it with
I
an
know I
open
don't
mind.
like it.
Yeah. And coming into it with an open mind and like, why don't I like this? Let me see if I
Yeah,
was just being a young dope and like there's something here that I can appreciate. It's getting worse.
yeah. And listen, Devil's Advocate, they are good musicians.
Yeah.
They're not. I'm not hating on them in that way. I get that they have talent, but it's almost like talent wasted, I guess.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, his voice is decent. It's just, and their playing is decent. It's
well, what I really got from them, I meant to say this in the beginning, is they ended up in a time period in the early 2000s, at the end of the early 2000s, when you had bands like Third Eye Blind and Matchbox 20, Lit, Fuel, Three
Three
Doors
Doors Down.
Down, a whole bunch of bands like that. It was really, really big, and they
Oddly
kind of went
enough,
away.
an
And then there was
interesting
a
fact.
big door open for that type of music.
Right.
So
An interesting fact about this album is Daniel Adier was previously the drummer of Three Doors Down. This is the first album of Nickelback's that he appeared as the drummer.
Okay.
So, I mean, that obviously where you can kind of like interchange all these parts of all these bands. And this is coming
right,
from
right. That's what I'm saying. They would, those bands were the tail end of all the grunge music.
Right.
Then they all came out of that, and then once they went away,
and
I'm
not trying to hate on Nickelback either, in that like they how were they popular? Because this is coming from a kid who was a Creed fan when they first came out. Like I liked Creed. I went and saw them live, and then like as I was listening to Creed, I'm like, wait a second, this is garbage music.
If Creed didn't release any of their popular hits, they would be a really good band.
Yeah,
because they have a lot of really good songs that no one knows about.
There's some heavy stuff in Creed's like way back, but
all their popular stuff really takes away from their stuff that wasn't popular. It's not commercially okay to play on the radio, but it's good music.
Right. But I don't get even that out of this. All right.
It is the same kind of mumbling vocal.
Right.
And that all comes from Eddie Vedder, who does have that kind of a sound, but not annoyingly.
Yeah, because he's Eddie Vedder and he did it first, and he was in a phenomenal band that was mega talented.
Right.
All right. So number 8, Side of a Bullet. And
did we do if everyone cared?
That one's the next one.
Oh, see, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't write the title of
the next contestant
of this song.
Yeah. This one is called Side of the Bullet.
And that's where I got How Could He Take His Life Away? Mm-hmm. How Could He Be So Full of Hate? And that's and also the obnoxious guitar solo.
Right. All right.
All makes sense now.
It could all be transferred onto the song that we were talking about before.
Yeah, I guess.
So, again, they go on and on. But I don't even think this guy can decide what he thinks this song is about. Like, at first, he was talking about it like this guy did a mass shooting because he was talking about military background. Then it sounded like it was a murder. Then it sounded like a suicide because he alludes to all those things happening. And I don't even think Chad Kroeger knows what he's singing about in this song.
Well, as I said, underneath the noise, it might have good lyrical content and good lyrical meaning. But if I could put it all together,
right?
But like I said, how could you take his life away? How could you be so full of hate? Like, that was just 2 lyrics I pulled out of it. Those could lead to good lyrical content.
But then there's another lyric in it. How could you watch him do it?
Right. So who's
in the
talking
same
about?
Song?
Yeah. It's a lot of confusion, man. A lot of confusion.
Yes. Yeah. And then he sings about him just sitting at home and watching it happen, and like, So that led me to believe it was like a mass shooting that was. I don't know.
Is it like a Phil Collins in the air tonight kind of a thing?
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
You know, I saw what you did. I know what you did, kind of thing.
I'm gonna follow you home because I'm gonna beat up the guys at the bar that you worked at, and
after I watch look at my photographs.
Yeah.
All right.
If everyone cared, I mean,
I'll let you begin.
Just terrible lyrics. The worst. I have no idea what he's talking about in these last two songs. I have no clue what these songs are about. None. No clue.
Well, this song, I think I got meaning from this song.
Really?
Yeah.
To me, the meaning was, I'm singing a song about if everyone cared, mixing in "We're Gonna Lie in the Grass and Look Up at the Stars," which I think he got stars and satellites confused, because he said we're gonna look at the satellites and pretend they're stars. But the opposite would probably be the case. Like, if you're looking at stars, you don't like. It's like that old, I forget what they're called, but you hear hoofbeats, you think horses, not zebras. Like, if you're looking at stars, you're not saying, oh, look at those satellites, they might be stars. Like, that's the first line in the song. So it's
love the confusion on your face.
It's such garbage. It almost sounded like he just wanted to mush words that rhyme together.
Well, my take on it is, I really liked the song until he started to sing. But as I listened to it more, you know, it had nice lyrics, but it's been done 1,000 times. To me, this is a cheap knockoff of John Lennon Imagine.
Right.
But he's saying stuff, basically, imagine the world was like this. Imagine this didn't happen. Imagine all these things. The song's been done 1,000 times.
But he's not getting it. He's not getting the job done.
Right. And one thing is, what if nobody died?
Right.
Well, then there'd be too many people in the world if nobody died.
It'd be a horrible place to live.
It'd be horrible.
Can you imagine what people would do if they never died?
Well, they would have a lot more views on YouTube is what would happen.
Speaking of which, how many views did this song have?
If everyone cared, 1.8 million.
God.
Yeah.
Nickelback is part of the YouTube generation. So are we, though.
Someone That You're With.
Yep.
500,000 views.
I mean, that makes sense.
On the lower end.
It's on the lower end. But honestly, I felt like at least this song made sense. It was filler to me, but it made sense.
It just sounded weird to me. Back to being overproduced.
Exactly. Well, yeah, all that was terrible, but I mean, at least the lyrics.
It started with a drum fill, like the middle part of a drum roll.
It was stuff he's put in the middle of a drum.
Like, that was the intro of the song. It's like someone forgot to hit the record. Like, yeah, we ran out of money. We can just go ahead, just leave it in.
Yep. And then we get to cap it all off with Rockstar.
28.2 million views.
And you know why that is? Because of Gene friggin' Simmons. That's why.
Oh, yeah?
He's the real rock star in all this. He got a boatload of money from these clowns to be in their video and lip sync to Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top's speaking part of the song. That's Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top doing the background vocals. And yeah, Gene Simmons is the one that's going, "How'd you gonna do it?"
Right. Okay.
Like he's just in his shades and his weird hairdo.
I like your thinking behind all that, but I don't think enough people know that it's Gene Simmons.
It doesn't matter. That part doesn't matter because he got the money. Nickelback paid him to be in their video. And
well, no, you were saying the reason they were so popular is because of Gene Simmons. I just don't think enough people even knew it was Gene Simmons.
That part I was being tongue in cheek, but
it's a very radio-friendly song. I mean, it flows nice, you know, as far as a radio pop song.
It's a rock and roll song.
Yeah.
I feel like, again, this is one of the few songs on the album where he's being honest with himself.
Yeah.
and not pandering, even though it's kind of the ultimate pandering song on the album in another sense, in that.
Well, we all want to be rock stars.
Exactly.
I mean, of course we all love that. But they're admitting all the things they've done.
Right.
And how fake and how much posers they are. Lines
well,
like,
I'll cut my hair, I'll do this, I'll do that.
I'll change my name, I'll cut my hair, I'll wear the latest fashion.
Yeah, whatever you tell me to do, boss.
Singers writing my songs.
Yep.
Probably the reason they sold so many albums.
Yeah. And that exactly, look, what they say in that song is exactly what they did for this entire album.
So, I mean, I guess they're honest about it. I guess they know. I mean, would you?
They played us all. They played us all, man.
If a music producer wrote to us on comments today and said, I will make you millions of dollars in rock stars, all you got to do is do everything against what you believe in.
Right. Dave, Greg, switch your microphones.
Not happening.
Nope. No way.
I don't even have a microphone right now.
It's right here. I got it for you. It's here symbolically.
Oh, I'm talking really loud then. That's how good my mic is. I'm in Kentucky.
Yeah. I can turn it on for you if you want. It'll sound great.
So
I hated this week. I hated
Final thoughts?
Do you not know already? Does anyone not know my final thoughts this week?
Yeah.
This was a rough one. I really thought I was going to appreciate it more and differently. Much like the Tapestry album, which I loved. I loved it. And
it's way different.
By the way, we're listening to that vinyl when you get home.
How do you think I felt? I drove for 14 hours today and got to a hotel, and the first thing I had to do
was listen to Nickelback. I was driving home from the shooting range today too, and my Apple Music put on a Nickelback song, and it wasn't even one of the ones off this album. So now Apple Music thinks I like Nickelback, and it's going to keep giving me new Nickelback songs all the time.
Oh,
and
man.
I'm just going to skip. I don't know. I don't want to be like this because there's got to be Nickelback fans out there. There has to be, right?
No, I mean,
I've never met one.
But this shows that popular music, not popular as far as genre of pop, but music that is selling isn't necessarily good music.
Right.
So a lot of these charts and stats and things don't really mean anything.
One of the only albums on earth to go certified diamond by selling nearly 800 million copies. That's why it's number 9 on the Billboard Top 10, because it sold more albums than almost any other album ever.
Well, because people will follow what they people that don't know anything, they don't really care about music, whatever. It's just they think it sounds good. It's on the radio all day long, whatever. That's
why I brought my first Creed album.
I still do. I want to know what else was popular at that time, what else was doing good. Also, was this around the time period when when pirating music was really big? So people were out, pirating the music they wanted. And
it was post Napster, but
yeah,
like LimeWire and all those.
LimeWire, yeah, that time period.
Yeah.
So, were average people buying this album, and then everybody else was pirating good music.
Yeah, I don't
know.
I mean, I don't know. Nickelback is Chad Kroeger on vocals and lead guitar, Ryan Peake on rhythm guitar and backing vocals, Mike Kroeger, Chad's brother, bass and backing vocals, and Daniel Adier, previously of Three Doors Down. This is the first one they got him in the band. This is the first album, on drums and background vocals. So they all do background vocals. They all... I don't hear any of them but Chad. I don't.
No, I don't at all.
It's cookie cutter rock and roll and
I mean that's really what it is to me. I mean, and I don't want to say that these guys didn't come up playing gigs and they didn't put their work in.
I'm
not saying they were a boy band that was just created, but ultimately that's how it comes off, that they're just okay, do this. This is what's gonna work. You know.
I mean, what has to happen for people that buy tickets to see you in concert to start throwing rocks at you? Because that happened. That famously happened to Nickelback. There's YouTube videos of it everywhere.
I did not know that, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna YouTube that.
He stops playing and they keep throwing rocks, and he's like, listen, we can either all be cool and hang out and listen to rock and roll music, or you can keep throwing rocks. And then
It must
on
have been
cue,
a festival
it was a festival.
that they were not the type of music that was supposed to be there.
That
And
might
every
be the
now and
case.
then that happens.
Yeah.
You know, you get there's been, I remember there was one pretty much all rock like bands, and then like Alanis Morissette came out,
Mm,
or
that had to be
maybe it was
tough.
Jewel. I think it was Jewel, and she's
Yeah,
singing.
I recall that now. Yeah.
Maybe it was Woodstock.
Yep.
But she's great, but she
Woodstock
doesn't
99.
belong there. But she actually turned the crowd. They actually,
Mhm.
because she's Jewel and she's amazing.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Mega talented.
Yeah.
I don't see Nickelback turning any crowds.
Just turning them against them.
I'm very sorry. And honest to God, and still, even now, even after listening to this album, if anyone out there that listens to us ramble on about this nonsense,
Yeah.
likes Nickelback, please tell us why, and
Yeah.
let us know. Try to teach us why it's good, and I swear to God, I will honestly give it another shot again if you tell me what to look for, because I'm just either
That's
I'm not
fair.
hearing it or I'm not seeing. Something's not clicking.
I mean, 100%. I will admit that I'm all like biased going into it, so it's harder. I'm not listening to it maybe with the clearest of mind, because it's so hard to get past all the stuff that I know I don't like.
And I honestly, there were so many songs on this album that I've never heard, because I never listened to this album before. I heard Photograph, If Everyone Cared, Rockstar, obviously,
Far Away.
And
Far Away, Photograph, and Rockstar. I think it's all.
Saving Me was also a single.
Yeah, Saving Me. Yeah.
But like the first two songs that opened this album were just
like, I bet if they
garbage.
did like an MTV Unplugged where it was just acoustic guitars and Chad singing all the songs, like I bet they would sound better and different.
It's still disingenuous though. Like I feel like there's not. I researched Chad Kroger's past. There's nothing like all his sort of social problems happened a little later in life. He got arrested for DWI. That's besides the point. We're not getting into that. But like growing up, he didn't have like a difficult childhood or like
but you don't have to have.
But those would be things that would lend you to the experiences that he sings about in the song. It's obvious that he does not have an emotional connection to the things he's singing about.
Yeah, but you don't have to have the emotional connection to something to be able to put forth that emotion. Okay, like Michael Jackson was singing "I'll Be There" when he was 7 years old.
Right.
He had no idea what it means to fall in love, but you believe the kid, because he can just emote that emotion or project that emotion.
So I guess
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you broke this stuff down acoustically, he took away all the production, and his vocals couldn't be screamed out, and maybe he softened it down, then it would come off more.
And you asked him to really, really connect with this, with what he's doing.
Because if you notice, all the songs we like were more acoustic and lighter, and then you felt like you believed them because he wasn't just screaming. So maybe we should look for some acoustic versions of their songs.
Right.
Check them out.
I think that would be a good idea.
And then, maybe we'll do a
retread
of them.
Right. We'll give them a second shot at.
Because for me, it was all the music that was the problem.
Everything was wrong with this.
Yeah.
There were no redeeming qualities to it, which I'm hoping is going to be something that we can find in next week's album. Which is some redeeming qualities, which is the soundtrack from 1966, Dr. Zhivago. I don't even know what to say about this. I have no opinions. I've never seen the movie. Going into a completely in the dark.
I know it's supposed to be one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah,
Like,
I've heard that.
I mean,
Fun fact: this isn't even the only soundtrack on this list.
no, it's not. Well, the other soundtrack, I makes sense to me.
Everyone's heard. Yeah.
Yeah. But this,
yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. Soundtracks aren't typically my thing.
yeah,
There's a few soundtracks that just blow my mind, though. All the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie soundtracks are amazing.
that will be one of our shows, I believe, is our top 10 soundtracks.
Favorite soundtracks of all time.
Yeah, I do love soundtracks as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
and top 10 like theme songs, maybe like most recognizable theme songs. Da-da,
yeah,
da-da. That kind of stuff. So yeah,
that would be Jaws. If anyone didn't know,
nailed it. First try, Dave. Good. It was cool. It worked out well. Yeah, next week is Dr. Zhivago from 1966. I have no idea.
Tune in and watch us be crazy men again.
Yep.
And
that's it.
That's it. I am Dave.
Yes, you are.
He is Greg. Dave Wood, Greg Moore, and together we're More Wood. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
We'll get a good outro one of these days.
Yeah.
Later.